They were trying to discipline the children?
That's right. This had been going on for over a year and a half.
My son's daycare was under investigation for abuse. They were holding kids down with their legs for children that weren't going down for nap time.
Putting him in a high chair, strapping him down.
Not a day goes by that he doesn't slap himself in the face because of what they did to him.
Our daughter Rain was 2 years old when the Halloween mask incident happened at Little Blessings. When I saw that video, I was disgusted.
When I saw the reaction of my daughter's face, it was just true terror.
Right after I saw that video, I called Keegan.
I went into the daycare and went to find the owner. She was just kind of like, well, I'll talk to her. I was like, talk to her? You need to fire them. They need to be gone.
The video went viral within 2 hours of us leaving the daycare. No one at the daycare took this seriously until the video was leaked.
Once the owner realized what was going on with the video being leaked, then she decided to fire the employees. I think the only reason the owner did that was to cover her tracks.
The day after we saw the video, we pressed charges on all 4 workers.
The following day, the state did shut down that daycare. At the end of this month, they're going to grand jury.
Rain was very affected by this. She would wake up screaming in the middle of the night, dreaming about it, talking about it. We have to reassure Rain a lot that she's not going to see those teachers again.
I feel the owner is responsible for this because she is in control of that daycare.
In my mind, they are all guilty because none of them tried to stop this. None of them tried to protect our children.
What did you find out about why these people did what they did? Why did they do this?
They told us that the investigators told us that those girls told them that they had found a loophole in the corporal punishment system.
So this was a motivational strategy for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to discipline the children?
That's right.
And discipline them for doing what or not doing what?
I have no idea. In this video, you can see my daughter's eating, so I'm not quite sure what she was doing wrong.
Was this the first incident that they had used fear, terror, mask?
No, this had been going on for over a year and a half. There had actually been 3 masks.
What were the others?
A clown mask, a scary man mask, and now you see the scream mask was the new one.
They used a Grinch mask at one time,
Yeah,
right?
they did for Christmas the year prior.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
These children are very impressionable at this point, and somebody comes out with that kind of mask on. In the moment, I can tell you at 2 or 3 years old, there is a suspension of disbelief, and at that point, they react to the reality of what's in front of them.
Right.
You know, we look at it, go, okay, it's a mask, but they look at that, and there's a monster in front of them. Now, you have some strong thoughts about the owner. And by the way, our team reached out to the owner and she did not respond. Why do you think she's at fault? She wasn't there, she didn't do it. Do you think she knew what was going on?
I think she knew what was going on. I don't think she knew the seriousness of actually putting on the mask and going in there and terrifying them. But I think that she knew that they were using masks to make the kids mind. We had heard that they would, come in the classroom and hold up the mask and say, "Don't make me go get the scary monster," when they were acting up. And I think once they wouldn't listen to that, then they would have the person go put it on. That we think was when the owner would leave the facility and then they would go in there and terrorize them that way. But we feel strongly that she knew something. In a year and a half, we feel she knew something.
If you think that's a big deal, bad idea, raise your hand. Anybody here think this is no big deal?
Little Blessings Daycare is just a small hometown feel to it, very warm. The first time I became aware of the scary mask incident was from another parent. She showed me one of the videos. I did see my daughter at the end of a table looking scared, terrified, crying, shaking. My initial reaction was horrified. My daughter was affected by the mask incident. We have had episodes at night where she would wake up crying, thinking this scary monster was going to come in her window. There's been other incidences where she's telling her baby dolls, "You've been bad, the scary monster's going to come get you." I've known the owner, Miss Sheila, for about 4 years now. She's a very genuine person, very loving, and I am fully supportive of her because I know without a doubt that she had no knowledge of the incident. I do not believe that Miss Sheila did anything wrong. Sheila immediately, upon finding out about the videos, she fired all 4 parties involved. I feel like Miss Sheila is innocent. I do think people are out for a witch hunt.
Well, joining us virtually is Kimberly. Kimberly, thank you for being here today.
Hi, nice to be here.
Do you think what they did in terms of using the mask as a disciplinary tool to motivate the kids into behaving, which is what the ultimate explanation was from one of the women wearing the mask, do you think that was inappropriate?
Without a doubt, 100%. Don't get me wrong when I say I'm in support of the owner. I absolutely in no way am in support of the individuals that were involved. Like I said, I was horrified, shocked, hurt, pissed off at the individuals involved. There should be consequences for their actions, 100%.
Okay, and so if the owner is the owner of the business and therefore in control of the business, does the hiring, does the training, does the supervision, then how does she have no responsibility for what happens in her place of business?
Well, I feel like the blame has been misplaced. It's been a witch hunt as far as she's to blame, she should be shut down, she should lose everything she's worked for 30 years. I mean, she did take responsibility. She immediately fired everyone involved. She has offered and tried to find resources for the kids and the parents for counseling that may be needed. You know, what more do you want from her? What more could she do? She didn't know what was going on, so I don't blame her at all.
Keegan, Alissa, what do you guys think about what Kimberly's saying?
Well, I thought that they had cameras in there.
What do you think should happen with regard to the owner and the daycare center?
I don't think she should be allowed to reopen a daycare and put people in charge of watching over people's children, because evidently she failed at that.
Kimberly, how long have you had a child in this daycare center?
I actually have 5 children that have been there for the past 4 years.
And do you have any connection with the owner?
Since I've met her, since my children started attending, I have become close to her and gotten to know her, that she's a very genuine person. She has a genuine care for the kids. So any of this nonsense that happened, you know, I absolutely know she would have not been okay with it.
One of the accused workers, Sierra, issued an apology online. Here's an excerpt of the video.
I want to give someone like me a chance to redeem themselves or, you know, accept my apology. I bought those masks. My coworker, she's very easy to scare. Long story short, I bought the masks to scare her eventually, and they were used inappropriately. I didn't go in there with intentions to literally traumatize those children, but I will say this. What you guys didn't see was after I had left the room, I took it off and I came back into the classroom. I said, "Cece got the monster, you know, monster. It's not coming back." And they would hug me. I am truly sorry to the whole Hamilton community. It wasn't meant to harm anybody. I know it seems the way that it does, but it wasn't meant to be that way. All I can do is focus on bettering myself, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And I don't feel that it is right for me to be judged by one mistake that I made.
What's your reaction to that?
Seemed like a lot of sorries and a lot of buts. I'm sorry, but. I'm sorry, but. There was no apology.
I bet none of the parents ever imagined the daycare would still be open. Is it open?
Yes.
Yep, she's there today with kids. She still owns it, runs it, makes money off of it, is there every day, picking them up from after-school programs, whole 9 yards.
Well, here's a statement from Sheriff Chad Chronister, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. The video is hard to watch, but gives us a clear view of the mistreatment happening under their watch. It is sickening to hear that the person responsible for dozens of children at daycare would inflict this type of punishment on the vulnerable persons in her care. Unfortunately, throughout our investigation, we have learned that she is known to treat her students harshly and roughly. Thanks to the hard work and persistent efforts of our special victims investigators, they were able to find out the truth behind the accusations reported to us. The investigation is ongoing, and any future updates will come from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Public Affairs Office.
They're, still open.
How would you say your daughter is responding now? How is she doing?
As far as right now, she's doing well. I mean, it took a little bit.
We went to therapy a couple of times, and the therapist said that the more memories we make and the more love we give her, which we are a very loving family, that she could get past this, but subconsciously she might not like certain things about certain times of the year.
Yeah. And, I will say children are very resilient, and if she wants to talk about it, or if she has reactions to things, the more you can get her to verbalize about it and talk about it, it can be cathartic.
She talks about it a couple times a week, and we always let her tell us what she needs to tell us, and we always reassure her.
Yeah. And it's okay to let her know it's not a real thing. It's a mask, and that you don't trivialize it in her mind that you're silly for acting this way or being upset, but do put it in a context, and she'll wrap her head around it eventually. And it's just that she shouldn't have to do all that.
You're
That's
right.
the thing. She can do it, but she shouldn't have to do it.
You're right.
Those are coping energies and skills that shouldn't be absorbed by something like this. They should be absorbed by something else. And she shouldn't have to do all of that in this. And how's your son doing?
So, he's still now almost 4-year-old, and he's 4 next month, but he's still in therapy. We started sending him to trauma therapy early August of last year. It was a little bit worse then, but still not a day goes by that he doesn't slap himself in the face over us just saying, like, hey, buddy, can't do that. And I have to hold his arms down. And it's ridiculous. So, yeah, he still, has happy moments and is fine. But the second that he's redirected or upset, my kid's slapping himself in the face because of what they did to him. It's awful. He's gotten diagnosed with, I believe they said, general traumatic disorder, something similar to that, but he shouldn't have a diagnosis from a daycare. Not like that.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, we have to constantly reassure our daughter every morning when we drop her off at daycare that the scary monsters are not there.
I can't bring myself to send him back to a daycare. He hasn't been back to a daycare since this.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.